So David, here we are in the British Virgin Islands, and what I always love to find out about people is how do they get to where they're at? And so I thought it'd be really fun to just talk about your life and how you started in Michigan, I
Yes.
take it,
Yep.
and you ended up, creating an empire in the British Virgin Islands.
Well, I don't know if I'd say an empire in the British Virgin Islands, but we're excited about what we're doing and proud to be a part of the British Virgin Islands. But, I've been an entrepreneur since I was a little kid, and started with lawn businesses. And
So you'd go and mow people's lawns?
mow people's lawns, yeah. And I was also a caddy at the same time at a golf course. And then I worked at a men's store on breaks from college. Through high school, I worked as in a grocery store as a cashier, and then became assistant produce manager. And they gave me a job offer to become produce manager, and quit college. That was attractive, but not enough to do it. Mm-hmm. In college, I went in the gas station business. We had 7.
What do you mean you went into the gas station business? Did you were working at a gas station or?
No, 4 of us got together and decided that the typical philosophy of gas stations was that you made all your money in the back room doing heavy mechanic business.
Uh-huh.
And we came up with the philosophy that if you pumped high volume of gas with a fixed cost basis, that you could also make a lot of money. I had 35 fraternity brothers working for me.
That's great.
One guy got out, we bought him out. Another partner got out. I didn't have enough money. One partner ended up with 52%. I ended up with 48%. And that became a life lesson.
Yeah, what was that lesson about?
That life lesson was it's not good to not have control.
Yes, I like that. That's a good one.
So,
and how old were you by the time that this whole, how many years were you a part of that?
this is now, I'm 22.
Okay.
And
When I was
graduated from Michigan State as a packaging engineer.
Uh-huh.
One of my fraternity brothers gave me this book on real estate, and I read the book, and I said, I had done all the 7 locations and everything else, and I said, I'm going to go in the real estate business, and I'm going to be a developer, and I think I can do 10% of the housing in the United States. Nice small goal. In 1974, on Christmas Eve, formed my own company and went out on my own, a company called Maple Associates, and then formed Abbey Homes with 2 other guys, and I was in charge of development and marketing and sales, and then we had a brokerage business and 150 people, and we were the largest custom home builders in the state of Michigan, and we were off to the 10% of the housing market, and I broke my neck.
Okay, so this is going, you're moving, everything, your life is in a perfect trajectory, and then life stops for you. You break your neck. Then what?
I have a broken neck. I had bolts screwed in my head. I'm flipped over every 30 minutes, but life never stopped.
Right.
They said you're going to be paralyzed from your shoulders down. I said, get out of here. I'm going skiing in Aspen. They said, we want to do surgery. I said, well, what'll happen now, you'll lose 60% range of motion of your neck. It's pre-MRI machines.
Oh,
so
right.
they thought I'd, severed my spinal cord. The bump in the back of your neck is C7. I smashed C6 into 13 pieces.
Oh.
So we didn't let them do surgery, which was a good thing. The pieces auto-fused, and I had crushed my spinal cord, which didn't show up on any x-rays, and I got movement back in my right arm.
How long did that take?
That took about 3 weeks.
Oy.
And you have 2 kinds of nervous systems. You have motory and sensory. I got motory back first on the right, and sensory hypersensitivity back on the left. So if somebody went like that, it felt like you were putting a screwdriver through
Oh my
arm.
gosh.
So then, I decided, I had one guy talk to me and said, you might walk with a limp, and you have to decide what you want to do and what your attitude's going to be, and that your attitude will shape your life. And I'd always lived with a great attitude, and I said, okay, I'm going to not blame anybody for this. I'm going to learn from it, and every day going forward is going to be the best day of my life.
I love that.
So I hired a boxing trainer when I came out to try and, learn how to coordinate my sides and learn how to walk again, because after the bolts and a bolted-on body brace for 13 weeks, I had lost all my muscles.
Wow.
And so I had to learn how to get going again. I ran my company from in the hospital bed.
You're kidding.
And that taught me an invaluable lesson on how to delegate.
Oh,
'Cause I
that's
didn't
big.
have
That's
a-
a good one. So
Yeah.
so we got don't lose control and how to delegate.
Yeah, and from my wife, I learned how to give up control. So
Yeah,
that's a later
that's
lesson, but
that's later in life,
right.
honey.
So along the way, then I came out of that and said, okay, I need to reorganize my life because I don't want to do 10% of the housing
Right.
market anymore. I want to do one at a time. Amazing developments that change people's lives,
Wow.
that change and influence the way they spend family time, that create lifetime experiences that will last forever, and that is in harmony with nature. So
Cool.
I came up with all that with bolts screwed in.
Wow.
And then it was a matter of figuring out how to implement it. So we split up our company, and I went on my own. And in 1981, my dad died, and I doing my first development on my own, and I was really wondering whether I had
Yeah.
any talent. And they have 20% prime rate, and only development paved in Oakland County, and it was the first development ever to average over 100,000 a lot in the state of Michigan. And and nobody would give us any money or give me any money. So I did it with cash, and it was the last time that I ever had any debt.
Wow.
So my dad, who was born in Sweden in 1898 and was a tool and die maker, taught me that if you can pay for it, nobody can take it away.
Wow.
So that was another life lesson.
That's lesson number 3. If you
So,
pay for it, they can't take it away.
All of them are within the premise that we're God's caretaker for the land while we're here and leave it better than we found it. And that's probably the biggest life lesson.
Yeah.
Pre-broken neck, I was going to Aspen every few weeks and thought I was really hot stuff.
Yeah.
And, everything gets put in perspective when you think you might be paralyzed
No kidding.
and on your own. So along came my daughter, and that was another lesson. And it was really then about she could extend, and my influence on her would shape her. So I put as much time and energy as I could. I could go do 10 Bay Harbors, and had been offered by Wall Street to do 10 Bay Harbors, or I could be home to help her be everything that she could be.
Right.
And so I chose that one and waited and did 10 years of homework for where, the finale would be, where in the world, it's like that Where's Waldo?
Yeah, right?
Where my place in the sun would be to spend the rest of my life. So, I didn't want to go to Florida. Florida's great, but I wanted adventure. I do much better in the warm than I do in the cold, but yet I'm not great in 90 degrees. It takes too much energy. So, it's really about research, and here you have incredible trade winds.
Right.
You have phenomenal physical beauty. You have the greatest boating in the world because
yeah.
they're coming in here from all over the world. You truly have a global marketplace. I mean, the people from all around the world of every kind of business imaginable are coming here to enjoy the waters.
Yeah.
And so our goal is to give them a place to enjoy and have fun with them while they're here, and build a great place that is a contribution to the community, gives back to the BVI, and is something the BVI and the BVI people and our team is proud to showcase around the world.
That is so great. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time and allowing us to be on your incredible yacht.
Well, it's a fun place to live and a fun place to work.